Heroes and Legends. War of Bitter Rivals. Part 2. Episode 13. The Battle of Destitoota. The place in which the dimensions was always destroyed in the past. It was a desolate place, with volcanoes and lava flows. Here, the 8 prime youths, 4 from Destitoota and 4 from the Builderon, who were the respective leaders of the same, had a decisive battle here to decide the true victor of this war, to bring the war to a much-needed conclusion. Bertha and Darling fought each other. Bertha, with a giant rod, was determined to defeat Darling, the leader of the insurance. But Darling, was using her fists, was determined to destroy Bertha and make her see reason. There was no need for them to kill each other, but instead to join as one and just surrender. But Bertha was determined that she was not going to allow the Talcon to be defeated so easily with words. Alani and Laura fought one another. Alani vowed that Laura shall fall by her bullets, and Laura vowed that Alani would be bested by her blade, as both women wanted Shane's heart for themselves and wanted Shane to side with them. However, they were determined to best one another, but they were rivals from the very beginning, even before the war, and it was on between these two ladies. Thomas and Shane. Thomas and his purple dragon transformed into a lightning dragon, and Shane used his sword as a lightning conductor to beat back the lightning of Thomas. Shane was determined to protect his friend from Thomas, as he was a jealous lover. And when Darius is dead, so he could have a courage himself. But Shane knew that he had to stop Thomas here and now. Lastly, Darius and Akari were finding ways off from the battle with the other forces, as the two of them finally had their blades drawn to one another and finally dueled for real this time. This was the first and about to be the last actual fight these two will have as enemies. While the fights were heating up and the future and the end of this war was about to be decided, the wandering Damian had come and achieved his long-sought goal to hide all of the primes right there in one place. He knew very well that he needed to defeat them, gain his prime power back, which they stolen when they defeated the Demoniacs that were a part of him, and become whole once more and reach his true ultimate power. At last, Damian was ready to show off his true power. With his sword at hand, he breached the battlefield, and when the other 6 heroes saw him, they were stunned. It was Shane that suggested, "Hey, you guys, let's put aside our differences. This Damian guy is tough and strong. It'll take all 6 of us and our full power to beat him. Let's go!" And so, the 6 of them, Shane, Thomas, Laura, Alani, Bertha, and Darling, united to beat back Damian. However, Damian smiled and said, "Good. I want to take back my powers. At least I want to have fun doing so. Come. Those Demoniacs you defeated were a part of me, and I wish to be whole again." And then Laura was stunned. "They were a part of you? Want to be whole? None of this is making sense. But I know one thing. This sword will slice you. Let's go, everyone." As they all tried to face Damian, they were one by one cut down by Damian's mighty power. First, Thomas had transformed with the purple dragon. However, Damian just reached up and grabbed the dragon, separated the dragon, used his sword to slay the purple dragon, and brought down Thomas and sucked his prime power out of Thomas, which drained him completely, and he threw him on the side, defeating him. Next, the sword play of Laura and Shane combined, and then Damian used his sword to push them back. After the sword pushed them back, he pushed them with a the force of air and then use his holy matrimony attack and a golden holy matrimony to knock them both out. And then he dashed to the knocked out bodies and absorbed his energy from there. Next, he blocked the punches of Darling and the hits from Bertha's spear. And then he summoned his ultimate special, which destroyed the block of Bertha and Darling. The two women were being blasted away. And then Damian, with lightning speed, came up before them and drained his prime energy from them. And then dropped them on the ground hard. If that, all of them were beaten. And Shane got back up, as he still had some energy left. And still, he used his sword to beat back Damian, but Damian was too much at this point, and Shane was once again knocked out. Then Hakari and Darius, realizing that something terrible had happened to their friends, raced back to saw all of them knocked out. They were stunned. It was Damian, more stronger than ever, as he pointed towards them and said that they had something he wanted and he was going to take it back by force. Then Akari and Darius stopped fighting each other and went to fight Damian, but Darius is down as he tried to block the ultimate special that Damian put on him. And then once Darius was down, and he tried to go back up, but Damian used his sword and nearly cut the neck of Damian. Damian's neck was bleeding a little bit as he was knocked out. Then Akari, filled with rage, thought that her beloved had died, and so she decided to go to full power with both of her swords, and all kind of lightning was spilling everywhere. And so she decided to fight for the sake of her love, Damian. Then she put down as Damian struck her. Then she fell down every time Damian attacked her. But she was determined to use her abilities. She used her swordplay, her lightning, and her speed. But at this point, Damian was so close to being at full power that he was even too much for Akari, even though she was at full strength. And still, she did not let that deter her. She used her swords the best way she could. But the swordplay of Damian, despite only being a swordplay for a few months, was greatly surpassed that of Akari, who was a swordmaster all her life. She was stunned. And then when the sword was knocked out from her hand, Damian struck her in the belly so hard, and then he was able to take his power back from her. She landed hard on the ground and realized that she had lost the baby. And then Darius got back up and was trying to get back up, and he saw and sensed what had happened. Damian at the time did not realize his folly until he confirmed after Akari cried and said, "Darius, I lost a child. The baby's gone." And then Damian, not knowing what to do, realized that Akari was telling the truth. I did not realize that she was with child. It's the first time Damian had killed an innocent. Then Darius got back up, and he didn't care how holy or righteous Damian might have been. And he vowed to use all of his strength to kill him and end the elders right there and then. And then Darius speeded and clashed with Damian. Damian tried to block it with his sword, but the clash completely obliterated his sword. And after that, Darius began to power up even more. The power was so strong that it shook the very core and foundation of the dimensions. The entire dimensions could feel the power that Darius had possessed. And then, all of a sudden, Darius then lays the smackdown on Damian as he slammed Damian down into the earth. And then Damian is falling down, deep down within the lava pits. And then Darius chased after him as he fell inside the lava and punched him up and down, left and right, with no mercy and with great ferocity. Then Darius threw Damian up in the air to beat him up some more. Then Damian could sense Ira coming, so he told him in his mind not to come, because in his current state of mind, Darius would kill him in an instant without thinking. So Ira had no choice but to stay away and not able to help his lord. Then Damian read Darius' heart and knew what the protector was going to do. So the two men powered up, and Damian asked Darius to reconsider his thirst for vengeance, as he would not be able to do what he wanted to do, to bring peace to the universe. Darius then calmed down and then went to sacrifice his life for all who wanted to be saved. So the two men had their final clash. It was an epic clash, a mighty explosion, or light so bright it could be seen for hundreds of miles. And when the dust was settled, Damian stood over Darius and took the last of his power to be whole from Darius. And then he wondered what they would do now with the second chance we have in life. And then Damian, as he left, said that the people and the powers that were coming, now that he was whole again, were 10 times more stronger than anything the Androsca and Bilduran had faced thus far, and that he needed to be at full power in order to combat these forces. And so Damian, although at full strength, was still weakened by the fight, and he disappeared as he retreated back to Elishu. Then he left. Akari then awoken up from being knocked out by Damian, and she saw the lifeless body of Darius. She then crawled over to him and cried bitterly his name. Darius! Darius! Darius, wake up! As she cried bitterly, Laura and Betha both awoke. As they awoke, Laura told Betha to get Thomas. Betha wondered about the purple dragon. Worried about the purple dragon, Laura said that it was too late for it. Then Laura reached out to grab Akari to go to their ship. Akari cried and called out to her fallen lover as they left. And then the scene cuts to Akari as she sits on her commander chair in her battleship as she leads her Bilduran fleet to Androsian Castle. She was remembering the events of that fateful day. She then commanded that this was going to be a bittersweet victory indeed.